Every single person on this list had one dream, one stage, one moment, one trophy. They gave up their relationships, their health, their bodies, and in some cases their freedom, for that one moment under the lights. Some of them got it. Most of them wish they never had. Because in bodybuilding, the trophy is never really free. Someone always pays for it. And today we are looking at 10 men who paid a price that no competition has ever been worth. One of them won his trophy and was dead before sunrise. One of them became champion and lost everything within weeks. And one of them is sitting in a prison cell right now and will be for the rest of his life. These are the 10 bodybuilders who ruined their lives for one trophy. And by the time this list is over, you will never look at this sport the same way again. Number 1, Mamene, Mohammed Benaziza. Some trophies cost more than anyone should ever have to pay. Mohammed Benaziza paid with everything. Joe Weider gave him the nickname himself, Killer of Giants, and Momo earned every word of it. He stood between 5 feet 2 inches and 5 feet 3 inches in a division full of massive men who outweighed him by dozens of pounds. By every logical measure, he should have been invisible on that stage. Instead, he kept beating them all. By 1990, he was unstoppable, winning Grand Prix titles across England, Finland, France, Germany, and Italy in a single year. He even beat a young Dorian Yates at the Night of Champions. Dorian later said he kept photos of Momo on his wall. That freaky three-dimensional back directly inspired his own legendary development. On October 4th, 1992, Momo stepped on stage at the IFBB Grand Prix Holland. He could barely walk. His body was shutting down in real time. He was cramping badly backstage. But Momo did what every competitor on this list did. He went out there anyway. He won. He collected his trophy. And then the vomiting started. Fellow competitor Porter Cottrell described it as violent, like a scene from a horror film. A doctor was called to the hotel room. Around 12:30 in the morning, Momo said he felt better. At 4:30 a.m., his heart stopped. Chest compressions for nearly 45 minutes. A flat line on the monitor. Fluid coming from his lungs and nose. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. He was 33 years old. Rich Gaspari later named the cause directly. Injectable Lasix, an aggressive diuretic used to achieve that impossible conditioning, caused extreme dehydration and electrolyte collapse that stopped his heart. His close friend Steve Brisbois quit bodybuilding entirely after that night. Mohammed Benaziza won his trophy. He just never made it home with it. The next man on this list was only 26 years old. His whole career was ahead of him, and his heart was already 3 times the size it should have been. Number 2, Dallas McCarver. Dallas McCarver was supposed to be the future of the sport. Big country. The Tennessee farm boy who earned his IFBB Pro card at just 21 years old, an age when most lifters are still figuring out the basics. He grew up on a farm where physical labor built a foundation that the gym would later turn into something extraordinary. Standing around 6 feet 1 inch, he competed at 255 to 265 pounds on stage, while carrying close to 300 pounds in the off-season, a 34-inch waist. At that size, he placed 13th at the 2015 Mr. Olympia and was widely considered one of the most promising young heavyweights in the game. Major sponsorship deals, a high-profile relationship, a career that looked like it was just getting started. On August 22, 2017, a friend found him unconscious in his kitchen just after midnight. He was 26 years old. Early reports suggested he may have choked on food, but the full autopsy told a far more serious story. The real cause was an acute cardiac event driven by severe left ventricular hypertrophy and coronary artery disease. His heart weighed 833 grams. The normal adult male heart weighs around 300 grams. Dallas McCarver's heart was nearly 3 times the size it should have been. Toxicology confirmed anabolic steroids, including veterinary-grade trenbolone. His liver was enlarged. His kidneys were damaged. He had undiagnosed thyroid cancer. He was 26 years old. His heart was the size of 3 normal hearts stacked together. Big Country came to the sport with a dream. He gave that dream everything he had, and his body gave out before the dream ever had a chance to come true. The next man on this list made it all the way to the Olympia stage. He just never got to compete on it. Number 3, George Peterson III. In a sport that often rewards the loudest voices, George Peterson III was known for being one of the kindest. The Bull, a man whose humility and genuine love for the sport earned him respect from every corner of the bodybuilding world. He started in the open heavyweight division before moving to Classic Physique, where he made history as the first ever NPC Nationals Classic Physique champion in 2016. That win earned him his pro card and launched a career built on beautiful aesthetics and quiet consistency. By 2021, he had qualified for the Mr. Olympia 212 division and was considered a real contender heading into the weekend. He never made it to the stage. On October 6, 2021, just 2 days before the Mr. Olympia in Orlando, his coach and close friend Justin Miller had been trying to reach him all day. No answer. Hotel security opened the door. They found George Peterson face down on the floor, mostly cold, blood around his nose. He had been gone for hours. CPR was attempted. It made no difference. The official autopsy listed the cause as sudden cardiac dysrhythmia due to hypertensive cardiovascular disease, with anabolic steroid use listed as a contributing factor. His heart weighed approximately 500 grams. Toxicology found boldenone and stanozolol in his system. He was 37 years old. 2 days away from the stage he had worked his entire career to stand on. 2 days. George Peterson III did not ruin his life chasing a trophy. He gave his life chasing one. The next person on this list made it to the stage many times, but what happened off it is a story most people never knew. Number 4, Luke Sando. Luke Sando had every reason to keep rising. The British IFBB pro from Bournemouth was one of the most charismatic personalities in the sport, both on stage and online. Standing 5 feet 7 inches and competing at around 245 pounds, he was famous for rowing 220-pound dumbbells on flat bench, the kind of strength that made other professionals stop and watch. He turned pro after winning the UKBFF British Finals, made his pro debut at the 2017 Arnold Classic, and broke through in 2019 with a second place at the Tampa Pro, a third at the Arnold Classic, and his first Mr. Olympia appearance. He co-hosted the 2020 Arnold Classic webcast. His career was building. His platform was growing. Everything pointed upward. On May 7, 2020, Luke Sando was found dead at his home by his longtime training partner James Hollingshead. He was 31 years old. He had been active on Instagram just days before. What followed was one of the most painful public disputes in modern bodybuilding history. Close friend Ben Chow posted a video stating that Luke had taken his own life, that he had battled deep depression and personal demons for years, struggles that went back long before his bodybuilding career ever began. 3 months later, on what would have been Luke's 32nd birthday, his family posted a statement saying the cause of death was heart failure, not suicide. They said the absence of an earlier statement had allowed painful rumors to spread and caused the family even more suffering. Both accounts were never fully reconciled publicly. No complete coroner's report was ever released. The truth, whatever it fully is, belongs to the people who loved him most. He left behind 2 children, Louise and Leo. Luke Sando came to this sport looking for something. Whatever it was, the cost of finding it was higher than anyone should ever have to pay. The next man on this list won everything the sport had to offer, and then watched it all mean nothing. Number 5, Mike Mentzer. Some people don't just compete in a sport. They challenge everything the sport thinks it knows. Mike Mentzer was that person. In 1978, he won Mr. Universe with a perfect score of 300, the first and only perfect score ever given in the competition's history. In 1979, he won the Mr. Olympia heavyweight division also with a perfect score. Mike Mentzer was not just winning, he was proving a point. Then came 1980. Arnold Schwarzenegger came out of retirement last minute. No full preparation, no complete season. Mentzer stepped on stage at 225 pounds and around 3% body fat, arguably the best shape of his life. He tied for 4th and 5th. Arnold won. Mentzer threw away his trophy and retired from competition at 29 years old. What followed was a slow collapse. Amphetamine addiction, multiple institutionalizations, and a life that never fully recovered from one night in 1980. He was found dead in his California apartment on June 10, 2001. He was 49 years old. 2 days later, his brother Ray died from kidney failure. 2 brothers, gone within 48 hours of each other. Mike Mentzer gave the sport everything. A perfect score, a revolutionary training system, a physique that deserved the title. One corrupt result took all of it away. The next man on this list chased perfection in a different way, and the price his body paid for it shocked even the doctors who examined him. Number 6, Andreas Munzer. Andreas Munzer had a nickname that said everything: the man without skin. His conditioning was so extreme that his muscles looked like they were pressing directly through his body. No fat, almost no water. A living anatomy chart walking around on a competitive stage. On March 11, 1996, just 8 days after competing at the Arnold Classic, Munzer flew back to Munich with severe abdominal pain. The next morning it became unbearable. He was rushed to hospital with massive internal bleeding from burst blood vessels. His liver collapsed. His kidneys shut down. His blood was so thick from dehydration that transfusions could barely move through his veins. On March 14, 1996, Andreas Munzer was pronounced dead. He was 31 years old. The autopsy shocked the entire bodybuilding world. His liver was full of tumors the size of ping pong balls. Half of it had turned into a crumbling, foam-like mass. His heart was almost double its normal size. Toxicology found traces of nearly 20 different drugs in his system. 20 different drugs. To achieve one perfect physique, Arnold Schwarzenegger sent a wreath to the funeral. The card read simply, "A last greeting to a friend." Andreas Munzer did not stumble into destruction. He walked toward it deliberately, step by step, drug by drug, competition by competition. He wanted to be the most conditioned man on that stage. He achieved it, and it killed him. The next man on this list actually won the biggest trophy in the sport and lost absolutely everything weeks later. Number 7, Shawn Rhoden. In 2018, Shawn Rhoden did something nobody expected. At 43 years old, he defeated 7-time Mr. Olympia champion Phil Heath in Las Vegas and became the oldest Mr. Olympia champion in the contest's history. Everything he had worked for, every sacrifice, every year of grinding through injuries, setbacks, and a 7-year absence from the sport after his father's death, it had all led to that one moment. He had his trophy. He had his title. He had everything. Weeks later, everything was gone. In October 2018, a female bodybuilder who saw Rhoden as a mentor accused him of sexual assault at a hotel in Sandy, Utah. In July 2019, he was formally charged with 3 felonies, including first-degree rape and forcible sexual abuse. The Mr. Olympia organization banned him immediately from the 2019 contest and all future events. The man who had just become champion was no longer allowed to defend his title. His legal team maintained his full innocence throughout. The case was never resolved before his death. On November 6, 2021, Shawn Rhoden was found dead in a Las Vegas hotel room. Heart attack. He was 46 years old. His final Instagram post had been made just days earlier. 3 years after winning the biggest trophy in bodybuilding, he died banned from the sport the trophy represented. Shawn Rhoden spent his entire career chasing one moment. He got it, and it destroyed everything that came after. The next man on this list never got destroyed by a trophy. He got destroyed on the way to one, in one of the most unforgettable moments the sport has ever seen. Number 8, Paul Dillett. There are moments in bodybuilding that nobody forgets. The 1994 Arnold Classic was one of them. Paul Dillett was one of the most physically imposing men to ever step on a competitive stage. Massive, shredded, a physique that made other professionals look small. He had sacrificed years of his life to be standing on that stage. Mid-pose, his body sent him a message he could not ignore. His entire body locked up, muscles seized from head to toe. He could not move. He could not pose. He could not walk off the stage under his own power. Officials carried him off on a stretcher. The man who had given everything to be on that stage could not stand on it. He recovered. He kept competing. But that image, a man frozen mid-pose being carried away, became the defining moment of a career that deserved far better. Paul Dillett gave his body completely to this sport, and on the biggest stage of his life, his body gave out on him. Number 9, Flex Wheeler. Arnold Schwarzenegger called him the most genetically gifted bodybuilder he had ever seen. 4-time Arnold Classic champion. Multiple Mr. Olympia top 5 finishes. A physique so perfect that even his competitors stopped to admire it. But the one trophy Flex Wheeler wanted most, the Mr. Olympia title, never came. And the price he paid chasing it was devastating. A near-fatal car accident in 1999 left him fighting for his life. Years of extreme steroid use destroyed his kidneys. In 2003, he received a kidney transplant just to stay alive. He came back. He competed again. He refused to stop. In 2019, where at 51 years old, Flex Wheeler stepped on the classic physique stage at the Mr. Olympia. Weeks later, his right leg was amputated below the knee due to a serious condition linked to his years of steroid use. The most gifted bodybuilder Arnold ever saw lost a leg chasing a trophy he never won. Flex Wheeler gave this sport everything a human being possibly could, and the sport took more than he bargained for. Number 10, Bertil Fox. Bertil Fox was one of the most massive and powerful bodybuilders of the 1980s. Born in St. Kitts, raised in England, he built a physique that dominated the amateur ranks and earned him a reputation as one of the most feared competitors of his era. Multiple IFBB Pro wins, a career that put him in the same conversations as the greatest names of his generation. But Bertil Fox is not remembered for his trophies. He is remembered for what happened in 1997. In St. Kitts, Fox shot and killed his fiancée, Laoka Brown, and her mother, Violet Brown, outside a bridal shop. He was convicted of murder in 1998 and sentenced to death, a sentence later commuted to life imprisonment. He has been in prison ever since. What drove a man who had built his entire identity around discipline, sacrifice, and physical achievement to that moment, nobody can fully answer. What is certain is this: Bertil Fox spent decades building a career in a sport that demands everything from the human body and the human mind. And somewhere along that road, something broke. He is still alive, still in prison. The trophies he won are somewhere collecting dust. And the only stage he will ever stand on again is a courtroom. 10 names, 10 careers, 10 different roads that all led to the same place. Some of them died on the way to their trophy. Some of them died after they got it. And some of them are still alive, carrying the wreckage of everything they sacrificed for a moment on a stage. Bodybuilding is a sport built on the idea that the human body has no limits. These 10 stories prove something different. The body has limits. These 10 stories prove something different. The body has limits. And the mind that ignores those limits long enough eventually pays a price that no trophy is worth. If this video made you think, share it with someone in the sport who needs to hear it, and drop in the comments, which of these 10 stories hit you the hardest?